Let's take a look at this matchup, Wade Rome, because this indeed a big one.
I tell you, this could be a headline bout on any card, anywhere. Jose, the brilliant sensation, Pele Landi, taking on a tough character out of Forest Lake, Minnesota, and David Menne.
David Menne, Pele Landi coming up, and Pele Landi is a guy that is considered as good a fighter as there is pound for pound. Everyone's been talking about this guy throughout the week as we arrive here in Evansville, Indiana. But he might have his work cut out for him today.
Well, he's certainly what you would call excitement on and off the ring. He's a difficult guy to keep up with, and he's an exciting fighter as well. I think if you look for him to get started out here early.
Pele Landi, 5'9", 176, 32-3, with the belt around his waist as well.
I tell you, Pele Landi earned that belt last WEF 8 in Rome, Georgia, going platinum by defeating a fighter we've talked about a few times tonight, Pat Miletich. He did that as well with knees and his aggressive technique, as are his attributes. He's also got, just as you saw by his record, a great deal of international experience. Brazil, Europe, the United States.
Put on a show already as we take a look at some of the highlights from Pele Landi, as tosses his shirt into the crowd, gives somebody a souvenir, and here he is in action.
It's a good look at Pele Landi and Pat Miletich in WEF 8 going platinum. Nice series of knees here to the head of Pat Miletich. This is a foot stomp that was just incredible. He's an exciting fighter.
What a spectacular move against a guy like Pat Miletich. And there you see the takedown as well. Wearing the title, Pele Landi from Brazil, who will be facing David Menne as he makes his way out. When things don't get much any easier, you go against Pat Miletich, and now you have this guy as your opponent from Forest Lake, Minnesota.
I don't know if easy is the word I'd use.
No, it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any easier.
You're right. It just doesn't get any easier. Pele's up for a test here. Dave Menne, not as big of a name internationally or domestically as Pele, but he's certainly a well-rounded fighter. Take a look at it. He's a big guy for this weight class. His overall size is just impressive. Again, he has a great deal of experience, and this is a no-quit guy. He always finds a way to win the fight, and that's probably his strongest attribute.
Let's match him up head-to-head. Here's a tail of the tape with Menne and Landi. This 1-year age difference and size almost identical. So the difference, well, we'll find out. Let's go to the ring. T.J. Thompson standing by, and he'll get things going with tonight's introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match for the World Extreme Fighting Cruiserweight Super Fight Belt. The fighter on my right in the blue rival trunks trimmed in white, 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighing at 175 pounds. Practices Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. A professional fighting record of 28-3. From Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, current WEF Cruiserweight Super Fight Champion Jose Pele Landi. And ladies and gentlemen, the fighter to my left, 5 foot 11 inches tall, 176 pounds. He's a combat wrestler with a professional fighting record of 30 wins, just 3 defeats and 1 draw. He's from Forest Lake, Minnesota, Dave Menne. Scheduled 3 5-minute rounds.
Well, there you go, Menne and Landi for the WEF Cruiserweight Super Fight belt. It's on the line. Kip Kohler brings him to the ring, and here we go. Landi in blue trunks, Menne in the black trunks, getting set to go at it. 3 rounds, 5 minutes each.
I tell you, I look for Menne to try to close the distance on Landi when he decides to come in pretty quickly. Landi is very effective outside with his kicks. He's got a flying knee that he does that just comes from nowhere. Menne needs to close the distance and perhaps take this to the ground quickly.
Landi there. Some of the highlights a moment ago. What a spectacular move that heel to Pat Miletich as they come together and go up against the cage.
There you see the size and strength of Menne as he's able to turn and put Pele back on the cage. Pele scooping down. He's going to look for a takedown here.
And now Menne has Pele behind him, and can't think that's a good situation.
Well, Manet's looking for a knee bar here on Pele. He's just got to secure this ankle at about the head level. Look for Pele to try to kick and punch. Manet's working for a footlock submission here.
Boy, how close are we to seeing an upset?
I don't see Pele tapping from this immediately, but Manet's certainly got a lock on. He's a great submission artist. He really is. Pele does not want to turn this back over and let Menne get on his stomach. We're looking for a submission by knee bar at that point.
Can you tell how good a lock he has on that ankle?
It's slipping a little bit, but it looks tight. Manet's got his elbow underneath the heel of Pele. Pele has his right foot inside, and he's creating pressure downward and outward on Manet's hands, keeping him from the submission.
And there goes the foot. You saw the hold broken. And
once again, Pele looking and just push the arms of Menne. Menne looking to secure that toe. And there Pele was able to squeak it out for a second, but Pele's got some work to do to get himself out of this situation.
Menne trying to roll over again on his stomach then?
If Menne can roll over and get to his stomach here, he can lay his body weight and force his body weight and hips against the knee of Pele and add that toe submission, foot lock.
Are they going to stand him up at some point, or are they going to let him stay in this position?
I tell you, I don't think Kip will stand him up from here.
Spin back around, and now Pele going to the guard position. Remember, we're now to 5-minute rounds, 3 5-minute rounds. So just past the midway point of the first round, scheduled 3-rounder.
First real look at Pele's guard we've had in World Extreme Fighting. And Pele employing the guard nicely, keeping Manet's head down, keeping the distance close. Look for him to create some space and try to work out of here. Manet's a very, very accomplished submission fighter, as you noticed by his quick attempt there in the early round.
Pele still in that guard, and Menne on top. Pele tried the big elbow.
That kind of glanced off of Manet's head there, but I think it woke Menne up that he needs to keep his head out.
That might have been a little more solid elbow. There's some body shots by Menne.
Once again, Menne just working the ribs. This is a classic Pat Miletich technique. Strike to the ribs, strike to the head, strike to the ribs, strike to the head. And he'll just repeat that series all night long as Pele will let him.
We've seen a lot of fighters on the ground tonight. These two are probably as active as any.
They are. Again, this is the first real look we've had at Pele's guard, and he seems to be handling his own. But once again, Menne with was a nice sweep attempt there by Pele, elevating the leg and hips and trying to roll Menne onto his back.
We are 45 seconds away from the end of the first round.
Landy's doing a real nice job of keeping this fighter in Dave Menne close to him. He just does not want Menne to be able to create space and rear up on him.
And now they'll get back to their feet. And there they go.
Menne lands a kick to the head of Landi. Manne's got to be careful here. He's got to be careful. He's doing a nice job. He knows those knees are going to come. But Pele is very, very, very strong from this position.
There's about 5 seconds left to go in the first round.
Notice Menne has his arms crossed underneath the arms of Landi, blocking those knees as they come up.
Well, we are through the first round as Jose Pele Landi, Dave Menne. There you see Menne. A little bit of blood flowing early on. A pretty good battle between these two. Again, the WEF Cruiserweight Super Fight belt on the line as they come out for round number 2. Scheduled to go 3 5-minute rounds. And Pele throw a left right off the bat.
Nice jab by Menne. I'll tell you, I was talking to quite a few of the fighters, including Monty Cox, the promoter, before this, and he says, I tell you, Menne may have better hands than Pele.
Menne trying to stand up now. He'll go for the shoot. Pele looking for that knee. Menne, though, got out of trouble, at least for now, but here comes the knee again.
This is the technique that's employed by Pele. I tell you, this is his bread and butter. Knees to the body, cup the head, knees to the head, knees to the body. He's a very, very effective guy and a very, very aggressive guy with his legs.
You just see him setting up that knee. Trying to keep some distance from Menne. Throws a knee of his own.
If you'll notice that Pele has the hips of Menne rotated so that he's got a weak leg back. He's basically looking to neutralize his knees and be able to strike with his own.
Menne taken down by Pele, goes into the guard position. Landi, see what he can do from this situation. It's the other way around in the first round. Landi just walks away.
Wants him on his feet. I don't think that, as we talked about early in this, he's going to want to go on the ground with Menne. I certainly think Pele's not uncomfortable there, but if he has his preference, he's going to want to try to keep this on his feet where he can land those high kicks, low kicks, and knees.
Landi not afraid to put on a little bit of a show and throw a little spice into it, is he?
He's a showman, to say the least.
Big right hand.
Menne appears to have a little bit of blood coming out from under, I can't tell if it's his nose or his right eye there, as Menne takes Landi up against the cage.
Again, now we're 2 minutes into a 5-minute second round, scheduled to go 3. We see round 1, the punches.
Wow, I tell you, if you look at that punch stat, 44 punches for Menne to 14 by Pele, and as I talked about earlier, consensus was Menne may have the better hands on Pele.
Dave Menne, former University of Iowa wrestler, throwing a left knee.
And that's a solid wrestling program coming out of Iowa as well.
And up against the cage. Just kind of waiting for the fireworks from Landi, and now Kip Kohler will step in. But Landi, a guy that talked about the fireworks, and we saw the highlights earlier. Very aggressive, flamboyant, some would say as well. And Menne. Oh, a big kick by Landi. Did he block it? Menne says nothing.
Once again, Muay Thai clinch to the head. Look for Pele to bring those knees up. Menne is going to try to come with an uppercut to counter, bring his arms underneath to break the hold. Nice job by Pele Landi with an overhand right again. I'll tell you, Menne has shown up to fight Pele here, to say the least.
See if Landi, again, as they break, goes for another one of those big kicks.
Landi seems to often lapse into this, well, I'm not going to do anything mode, suck you in, and then hit a kick such as he did with that spinning back kick a moment ago.
How much Menne did he get, though, with that kick, do you think?
He got very little. Menne did a nice job of keeping his hands up. One of the things that you're going to see Pele try to work to do if he wants to be effective with that high kick is he's got to establish some low kicks, get Menne starting to think about his legs, lower his hands, and leave that head open to be kicked. And he just hasn't done that so far. He hasn't established a series of low kicks.
55 seconds left to go in the second of 3 rounds. Landi kind of backing off. It looks exactly like he's trying to do what you're saying, to sucker Menne in.
He wants Menne to come in. He wants to bait him a little bit, and he wants to explode. I think Menne is wise to his game plan from that standpoint.
Well, there was a right hand by Landi. But the brawl is on now, and Menne throws a couple uppercuts. Boy, Menne not afraid at all to stand toe-to-toe.
No. I tell you, I'm really, really impressed with Menne. I was impressed with him prior to this fight, but This is the #1 ranked lightweight fighter in the world, and Jose Pele Landi. Dave Menne also breaking into the top 10 rankings, but he's certainly come to fight tonight.
Near the end of the round number 2, and that'll do it. Kip Kohler steps in. And while Menne has a little bit of blood flowing, Pele Landi, would frustration be coming into play at all for this guy right now? Because Dave Menne, as you mentioned, he has not only shown up, but at times has dictated the pace.
I tell you, Landi has a way of suckering you in and then taking and launching a kick like this. And I tell you, he landed that with the back of his calf rather than the back of his heel, which is really what he's trying to impact there. The back of the heel to the upper shin. Here you look at Pele Landi with a nice right hook. And if you'll notice the technique, he's grabbing Menne's shorts and keeping Menne's hips under control. He does not want Menne to tee off with those knees. He wants to bring his own into play. A little bit of swelling under the right eye of Menne there.
He actually had that a little bit. That cut was open in the first round. But the thing with Menne is even with when they start getting in there tight and they start throwing punches, a lot of counters by Menne. And talked about his hands. Very impressive. Final round, at least of regulation. How would you score it through 2?
Oh, I tell you, this is tight.
Not that I put you on the spot or anything. But
this is tight, but I tell you, I think I'd score it around a piece.
So this could be it right now. Round 3 of 3, 5 minutes, and the slow start is Landi encouraging the crowd to make some noise. They were booing a little bit, and he says, bring it on some more.
Well, I think, again, Landi wants to suck Menne into trying to come out of his fight and into Pele's, which is come on, come on, come on. You know, try to close the gap without taking a proper shot. Try to close the gap without using your jab and see what happens. I'm going to take a kick.
Well, Menne's done a great job, though, of not buying into that plan so far for the first 2 rounds, but Menne's probably got to think a little offense here, too.
Menne's done a really, really nice job, and at times he certainly has been the aggressor. As I said before, Pele tends to just sort of coast back and then explode, and I think that's what makes him so dangerous. Nice leg kick there by Dave Menne.
And Menne in the black trunks, former University of Iowa wrestler, Morris Lake, Minnesota. And
Menne, another byproduct of the Pat Miletich camp. While he doesn't train there full time, I don't believe, he does spend quite a bit of time with those guys. Look at a nice series of punches thrown there by Pele.
Pele threw the big right hand. Menne shaking it off, saying nothing. There's a left.
I tell you, that left kick right there looked to connect on Pele.
Mano a mano here. These 2 guys standing up, saying, let's bring it on with round number 3 and quite possibly the fight in the title on the line. We'll go 5 minutes, and if we haven't decided, we'll have an overtime.
Menne imploring an inside thigh kick there.
Well, now Menne and Landi, and Menne may have upset Pele Landi a little bit too much with that little showmanship, but there they go to the mat. Well, Landi looked like he just snapped, kind of lost his composure a little bit and got real aggressive for a moment as he goes back in the guard.
Menne has definitely brought his showmanship to the fight here tonight as well. Nice series of strikes here. Elbows to the top of Menne's head. Menne bringing a hammer fist over onto the top of Pele's head. Both these fighters just so experienced and so seasoned.
Again, the WEF Cruiserweight Super Fight title on the line. The belt up for grabs right now. We're midway through round number 3.
Once again, there you see the technique patented, quote unquote, by Pat Miletich of shot to the ribs, shot to the head, shot to the ribs, shot to the head. And if you notice, Menne will change up sides. He'll do it on the left for a little while, change up, come back to the right with it. And there it is. Pele really needs to try to work himself off of the fence here.
Taking a series of body blows. Trying to come back, but again, here you see Dave Menne with 1.5 minutes left in regulation. And even though Landi in the guard, Menne seems to be in control. And And a chant of USA by the crowd for the American from Iowa against the Brazilian Pele Landi. Let's see if that gets Menne even more inspired.
A international rivalry developing in the middle of this match, huh?
Well, right here in the heartland of America in Evansville, Indiana.
So Ian, what a great city this is, and what a great time I've had since I've been here. Evansville is a really, really nice place, and they've certainly been overwhelmingly nice to us here.
Fine folks at Hook and Shoot, Jeff Osborne and company.
Yeah, they
hosts.
actually have an event coming up June 12th in Evansville Memorial Coliseum, the Hook and Shoot Classic. As a classic display of blows are traded between Menne and Pele here. Whoa!
Wow!
Menne looking to employ the technique of Pele with the foot stomp to the face.
Boy, Menne has really cranked it up a notch here in round number 3, and a right hand by
Pele. Second one.
Landi lands a couple of big right hands, and we have just 5 seconds left to go in this fight. Landi and Menne. Oh,
nice right hand.
Huge right hand by Landi as the horn sounds. Did Landi have enough at the end? Or did Menne crank it up so much in the first 3/4 of the final round that he's going to wear the title? Landi playing to the crowd. What an end to that fight. What an end.
I tell you, I wouldn't be surprised to see this fight go to overtime.
Hey,
really
why
wouldn't.
Stop it now?
I'd love to see another round of this, let me tell you.
Those two guys put on quite a show, especially in about the final 90 seconds of the 3rd and final round of regulation. Dave Menne, University of Iowa. And here's some of that great action for the final round. The elbows and the big blows.
Here's Menne imploring a technique utilized by Landi in the last WEF against Pat Miletich. Nice right hand, followed up by a kick from Menne, which appears to go into nowhere.
There you see Pele Landi from Brazil. Dave Menne with a chance of USA behind him. Inspired. TJ Thompson has the judge's decision, and it appears it is just that, a decision. We're not going to have overtime. And we will go to the ring, and TJ Thompson with the decision. TJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a majority decision.
I don't know.
Judge number 1 scores about 29-29 draw. Judge number 2 scores about 30-28. Judge number 3 scores about 29-28. For the new WEF Cruiserweight Superfight Champion, Dave Menne!
Dave Menne, the new title holder. Pele Landi storms out of the ring. He can't believe the decision. But Dave Menne, before a partisan American crowd, Landi's corner can't believe it, but Menne wears the title. He has the belt. What a fight, what an upset.
I tell you, that is an upset, but as we were talking off mic here, that was my prediction. I thought Menne did enough to win that fight.
Levine.
Well, Jamie Levine will put the title on the new holder of the belt. There you see the corner of Pele Landi. And to say they're upset, that's an understatement. Landi, I think, disbelief.
I tell you, I thought it was a close fight, and I thought Menne did enough to win. I really did.
Pele Landi still standing off in the distance as Dave Menne, the new title holder, and we'll check in with him in a moment with Michael Landsberg. But little bit of what would a night of the fights be without a little bit of controversy? There you see the argument continuing in the ring, but the judges rendered their decision. And we looked at one another when they were making the decision, Wade Roman. You said, I would not be surprised to see Menne get it, as Menne will make his way over to Michael Landsberg with the new title, with the belt around his waist. And what a great feeling that is here in Evansville. What a night for the young man from the University of Iowa. And Michael Landsberg standing by. We'll get Michael in just a second. Michael, huge upset down there. A lot of controversy as well.
Yeah, there was the controversy and there was the feeling in the crowd, but I got to ask Dave Menne, as the crowd started to chant, USA, 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 did it help?
Yeah, it's nice to know that the crowd's behind you. It's always an extra. It's always nice to know that people are behind you. Gives you a little extra heart, and you know, makes you feel good. The hometown's always a nice place to win.
I was listening to TJ say the winner and new champion. What were you thinking with the pause there?
I was thinking, sweet that something finally went right. It's a long road, and it's been a lot of sacrifices and a lot of cold nights and a lot of lonely nights at the gym. And sometimes there just doesn't seem like there's any payoff. And when you hear that, then that's nice, finally.
This was, I think, by all accounts, a legendary fight. A battle all the way. Could have gone either way. Did his arrogance, cockiness in the ring give you perhaps the edge that you needed to push you over the top?
Give me a little spark. You know, when he did it, it made me want to hit him. You know, so.
And I guess the question now becomes, what's next for you?
Oh, I don't know. I gotta ask my manager, I guess.
Congratulations, a hugely popular victory. Let's hear it for this man, the new champion, Dave Menne.
All right, Dave Menne, the new title holder, the WEF Cruiserweight Super Fight champion, as the title now belongs to Dave Menne. And what a fight that was. And we may have a long way to go to top that one, especially the final round, the third one. But coming up